Hello and welcome back for episode number 2. I'm Dr. Andrew Allen from Georgia College, and this is Saxophone Fundamentals. On this episode, we'll be talking about saxophone posture. Of course, to play saxophone and to play saxophone to the best of your ability, you must make it as natural of a process as possible. Now, how do we make the saxophone, this sometimes ungainly machine, feel natural? Well, one thing you must remember that the people who make saxophones, Adolph Sax, the original inventor, and most of the people who modernized the instrument over the course of the last 150 odd years, have recognized that this is going to be played by human beings and have tried to do everything that they can to ensure that human hands, human shoulders, human arms, human mouths can play these instruments comfortably. So whatever you do, don't overcomplicate the process, just as we talked about in the breathing episode. Number 1, the saxophone is endowed with a neck strap. You must support the weight of the instrument entirely in the neck strap. Your hands don't support any of the weight of the saxophone, and this is vital. When I play, you'll notice the mouthpiece comes directly into my mouth without me having to reach for it. Very often I'll see younger players, don't do that. Whenever you start craning your neck, you start cutting off your air supply, and you start to increase tension. You need to stand up nice and straight and tall without overdoing it. Allow the saxophone to come into your embouchure and rest the weight of your head on top of the saxophone. And we'll talk more about embouchure in a video shortly. But you don't need to be lifting up, you don't need to be tugging on the saxophone, you don't need to be doing really anything with your hands besides just balancing the saxophone. You'll also notice that the key guard hits me right around my belt line. Now, if you're a bit shorter, when you're standing, it may go off to the side. When you're playing tenor or baritone, very often it'll be resting on your side. But, again, the weight is resting on the neck strap, and the saxophone is resting on your body. Make sure that you're not pushing the saxophone out with your right hand. Occasionally in marching bands, students will have to do that to keep from kicking the saxophone. That's the only time you need to do it, though. The saxophone is in contact with your body the rest of the time. There's no weight being supported in the right hand. The right hand's just free to move. Another thing to think about, you need to keep your arms and your hands as relaxed as possible. Drop your hands to your side, shake them out, and relax them entirely. And when you raise your hand, you'll notice it's almost in a C shape, or it's in just a very relaxed shape. This is the shape your hand naturally wants to be in, which fits marvelously on the keys of the saxophone. So the proper saxophone hand position is a very natural, relaxed hand position. Drop them, shake them out, and put it on the saxophone. Just needs to be that relaxed C. I also see a lot of students doing odd things with their fingers. And again, this needs to be as simple as possible. All of the motion in your fingers needs to originate at this knuckle. There needs to be no small motions or anything like that. It's just going to come from the largest knuckle, and you're just going to exert the pressure necessary just to close the key. Don't force it. If you find yourself having to force it, your saxophone needs to go to a competent repair person because something's wrong. Now, all well and good, you've seen me standing, but what does this look like when I'm playing or when I'm playing tenor? Well, give me just... So now you've seen what it looks like when I'm playing alto and tenor while standing, and take exactly what tenor looked like and just extrapolate from there. It's the same thing, perhaps off to the side if you're a little shorter, but very relaxed. Now, most of you who are students probably spend the majority of your playing time seated, either in band or just sitting down while you're practicing. So what does that look like? Well, to begin with, both of your feet are flat on the floor. You're going to lean forward just a bit, because when you lean forward, that allows your lungs to expand to their full capacity. And again, Your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your torso, all of your body are going to be nice and relaxed. The same rules apply. You pull the neck strap up so that it supports all the weight of the instrument. You're not pushing out the saxophone with your right hand. There's no weight being supported in your hands, and your mouthpiece goes directly into your mouth. Take a look at me playing just a bit on both alto and tenor in a chair to see what it looks like playing while seated. For those of you who play baritone, or perhaps those of you who are smaller who are alto players, just look to the tenor example, both seated and standing, playing off a bit to the side, but make sure that you're not sitting up on the back of your chair, make sure that you're not tense. The name of the game with this whole thing is relaxation. Your arms should be relaxed, your hands should be relaxed, your embouchure should be relaxed, and it should feel as natural as possible. I want to make sure that you can play to your best ability for the rest of your life. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Saxophone Fundamentals. We'll be back with you soon.